Thanks for staying on the program. Now, nurses and midwives at the Tamale Teaching Hospital are on strike to demand equity as regards to the allocation of accommodation to the staff at the hospital. The nurses and midwives are demanding the return of nurses' quarters to be exclusively given to the nurses. Our Northern Regional Correspondent Hashmin Mohammed has joined me over the telephone with some more. Hello, Hashmin.
Yeah, hello, Camille.
What more can you report on this?
Well, the nurses are demanding that accommodation facilities allocated solely to them as nurses are returned to them as it used to be the practice at the Tamale Teaching Hospital. And beyond that, they are also demanding that a committee be put in place to look at all issues relating to accommodation at the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
I see. And what we hear now is they intend to go on strike. When do they intend to take this as action?
Well, they are already on strike as we speak now. But what they have done is that critical areas at the facilities, they haven't withdrawn service at critical areas at the facility. And here we are talking of areas like the labor ward, the neurosurgical ward, and then the accident and emergency ward. But any other wards like the medical wards and then the OPD department, the nurses and the midwives have decided to withdraw their services there.
What are authorities of the hospital saying about this?
The public relations officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Ms. Bao Mohammed, told me a while ago that they will be meeting with the nurses and the midwives in a bid to resolve the strike action called by them.
So you've been to the hospital. What does it feel like being there, especially for patients?
Well, inpatients have been attended to, but patients who just reported to the facility this morning have not been attended to, and that is the worry of management for now. And according to management, they will be meeting the nurses and the midwives, and later on in the day they are hopeful to convince them or persuade them to call off the strike.
In your interaction with these patients, what have they been telling you?
The patients are worried that they came to Tamale Teaching Hospital this morning and they have not been attended to, but some of them were able to move to other health centers to receive treatment.
We'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much for the information. Hashmin Mohammed joined us from the Tamale Teaching Hospital, where nurses and midwives are on strike in demand for equity in relation to the allocation of accommodation to staff of the hospital. They want the nurses and midwives' quarters returned exclusively to the nurses. We can look at other stories now. Inhabitants of Mensagini, a slum which was demolished by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly some 5 months ago, appears to have returned to the area. The AMA had demolished the slum at the highest height of last year's cholera epidemic to make way for new development. It says it would enhance the value of the beachfront. Joy News checks, however, indicates instead of the new beautification project, an abandoned vehicle lot has emerged, and residents have decided to make their homes in it because they say they cannot find shelter.
Metropolitan Assembly sometime in 2014 embarked on a demolition exercise set to decongest Accra's coastal line, as well as rid it of filth. As a result, hundreds of structures along the coast from Osu through to Mensagini were pulled down. Mensagini, an area behind the arts center, occupied mainly by squatters, was declared a cholera-prone zone by the AMA. 5 months after the exercise, some residents are still living in the area, sleeping in abandoned vehicles there. According to them, city authorities are now using the area as car garage.
bit to me and yes, guy, and so be free, I say. And casting one now or more about packing, and soon they be Musuda. AC cry, call Pukrana, Bibri, Yorana man for Niema, ACC were casting. Ube Buanma, Mudu, the Abbey, Casa, says, and ACC swore. And so casting, so any Musunama for Soda. Oh, Tiadi, I bad pa, my pa, I bad my.
Others are also seeking refuge in makeshift structures close to the sea, an area they call no man's land.
Nebedini just on say oh baby na bia sebi ho na onya na obedinu ansa na be pamu no on say edi e je so pe chikakra na so pe bibi fufura onya bibi fufura na so ukọ oh sisi ami business bia me to pure water bi wa na afi fishermen no nkobo mu kakra
me kwa ne ten yusa hintimi fa obama se de ye kan ntina ma yesola ho mache ne akwadwuma ti yesola hasi ye ti ye mfa bibi papa nto a oba gi se de hyen ya ne hyen ichenye when time bia wontimi nka se tese dwale kwa yesi bia najo ni akoto pure water so any bia wo scout pure water be 3 cedi na wo di dwale kakra.
Several residents, including children, sleep in the open at the mercy of the weather, while the fortunate ones sleep under these tents. The future of these children is currently uncertain as the education is hampered.
I don't tell madam, sisi school no cry, you do moko, be more cry, almost start to school no cry and do 3 months na buye. And yes, Kakitua and Nepako 5 million no 4 million, over say around. Sisi as can away. So 5 million no over to my high time. Come across na one net. And Sisia money be better, share be better. Obi, I am your kwana. So I want to make 5 million say would go high no school say or free school but no be done and okura nyame kura on ya dan on ma oshirabia on because the yamba na yan yermo bibi o mutina nye so we betima about one na muda.
The only wish for these fisher folks and artisans is for the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to allow them occupy the space till they get new homes. Matilda Pamaga for Joy News, Accra.
Away from that, the Ghana Anti-Corruption Campaign Coalition says it expects government to fully disclose the source of funding for the Ghana AFCON campaign. Clarity on the use of the budget for the AFCON 2015 has not been received as demanded by the media, even after Mahama Yariga, Sports Minister, went to Parliament to present detail of the budget. Linda Ofori, who is Executive Director for the Ghana Anti-Corruption Campaign Coalition, says it is unacceptable.
When we are talking about accountability in democracy, it is bottom up and top down. He has the responsibility to explain to us as Ghanaians how to mobilize the resources, how it's going to be spent, who is approving what before the league. When we talk about JNPC putting money into all this, JNPC is not a private organization, it's not for an individual. He was asked, the minister was asked yesterday in one of the radio stations, and I heard him once again saying that he doesn't even know how supporters were elected to the place. He has said it once, twice. And I think it is not good enough for us to be getting such feedback. If he doesn't know, how will an ordinary person on the street get to know?
Indeed.
He should know, and he should be able to give us some explanations to that effect. The fact that we've not been able to do this successfully in the past doesn't mean that we don't have the opportunity to do it again. There is going to be other opportunities coming going forward. And I think that time we should be able to coordinate our efforts to demand for such transparency, openness, and accountability before the tournament starts. And when it comes to who has the responsibility to tell us how much money was mobilized and how much money was spent, I believe it is the minister. We won't go to GMPC to tell us, we won't go anywhere. He should be able to make us know what really happened. And I think if he continues to do that, then he's hiding something from us, and we need to demand for. Let me tell you something. I followed all the discussions. Anytime he was asked the issue about the budget, his answer was not satisfactory enough. And I think people, Ghanaians, are have come to the stage where they won't take that kind of responses from people that we have put in place to manage our ministries for us. And I think going forward, we will make sure that we demand for the budget, we demand for the expenditure line items before anybody embarks on any trip or organizes a tournament. It is becoming too unbecoming of the ministry, and I think it's about time we rise up against it.
Well, now, still on the subject of the AFCON 2015 budgets, sports analyst Opare Ado, who also spoke earlier on News Desk, decried the minister's stance on the questions posed by the media in relation to the budget.
The minister is simply running away from his responsibilities. It's as simple as that. He has to be told that he has to be firm. He has to be accountable to us. You understand? Because you are put in there as a minister to ensure that whatever that we need as people of us, as Ghanaians, we are told. It is never possible for the minister to tell us that, look, this came from GMPC and it is without the knowledge of the sports ministry. It is not possible. You understand? Anything that GMPC does, GMPC goes through the sports ministry before the sports ministry gets to the technical committee of the Black Stars before it is done. You cannot jump the ministry and jump the minister himself and go straight to the players or to the Black Star Management Committee. It is not done. And I know he's simply not ready to tell us the truth. He's running away from it. It's as simple as that. Look, we should not run away from the fact that if the minister comes to tell us the truth, he will be asked questions. If you don't tell us the truth, you will be asked questions just because we want to know the exact truth. How come you tell us that, look, the extra 15,000 that was given to the Black Star players came from somebody? You don't know that individual? GMPC says they did not cough up that money. Government says they did not bring that money. So where did we get it from? He has to be responsible to us. He has to answer such questions. It isn't Parliament alone that you have to be pulled in there to be forced to answer such questions. You need to tell us as people of Ghanaians, then we get to know that whether you are doing the rightful things or you are going the wrong way. He has to be responsible.
There's more to come here on the program. Don't go away. Thanks for staying here. Now, counsel for an orderly indicted in last year's missing baby saga at the Komfo Teaching Hospital has described as outrageously ridiculous charges against his client. John Akparebo says Baba Abire's prosecution is a deliberate attempt by officials to kill the matter by sacrificing an innocent person for the real offenders. He wants the court to strike the case out. A report by Mahmoud Mohammed Nurdi.
Baba Abire was interdicted on the 5th February 2014 for allegedly being unable to show where he had kept the bodies of stillborn babies entrusted in his care. A letter signed by the former Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Professor Ohinie J, indicated the interdiction would last until police conclude investigation. 1 year down the lane, there has been no prosecution at the Kumasi High Court, and 58-year-old Abire's fate continues to hang in the balance. His lawyer, Mr. Akparebo, believes his client was charged for a crime he never committed.
Baba Abire is not a nurse, he's not a doctor, he's not even a ward attendant, he's just a cleaner. So how does he get access to steal anybody's child? The truth is that Baba Abire is being charged because he was charged because he is poor. He knows nobody. We're in a country of connection here and there. The real culprits, they have ignored them. They have safely sidelined them. Oh, we'll help you, oh, you people don't worry. So they just arrest Baba Abire and then put him before court for the world to see that at least something was being done.
He says the manner in which the case is being handled by state prosecutors is worrisome.
But for Baba Abire, what I heard later was that they had referred the case to Attorney General Accra. Why should a small case of stealing have to go to Attorney General Accra? So do you mean the Attorney General here, they cannot handle stealing cases? The truth is that even officialdom want to kill this case. Even officialdom, they want to kill the case for reasons best known to themselves.
Baba Abure is currently not receiving his salary from the hospital, a situation his counsel says is unfair treatment. Yesterday, Baba Abure appeared in court only to be told the case has been adjourned to March 14th. A confused and distraught Baba Abure cannot imagine he has since been out of job.
My phone number, second one, Miss Mitty feels sure. Scanning me. Timothy feels on my journey. I can't feel it's never feel. Or no, my journey. I am imagining a
His brother Al Hassan Akurugu raises concern about 2 nurses cited in the matter who resumed work while Abure is still on interdiction.
Embattled broadcaster Kwesi Dakwa, who standing trial for rape, is expected to produce his medical report before the Accra Magistrate Court hearing the matter today. KKD was unable to appear in court last week over ill health. The presiding judge, who was reportedly angry over the development, directed the legal team of the fashion icon to produce his medical reports in court to substantiate their claim of his state of health. Kwache Afreniama was in court earlier today and brought us this report. Hello, Fred.
Yeah, Camille.
What happened in court today?
As you may recall, the last agenda date on that was January 5th, the 8th broadcaster did not show up in court, and the reason his lawyer provided was that he had been rushed to the hospital. Well, today he didn't appear, and this is the second time. And Susanna Nyako, who held brief for KKD's legal counsel, Anthony Forson, explained to the presiding judge, Ajua Achama, that doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital have referred Mr. Dakwa to see a clinical psychologist. And what I'm learning from sources within the camp of KKD is that this is due to the huge psychological strain that the entire trial is having on him. But the director of public prosecutions at the Attorney General's department was unhappy about the second no-show by KKD. She then referred to the medical report that was submitted to the magistrate court after the last hearing, and her argument was that per that document, KKD is expected to go for weekly reviews. That's every Wednesday, so there can't be any excuse for his absence today, Thursday. But the lawyer representing Kwesi J. Dakwa clarified that it was during his visit to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital yesterday for his weekly review that doctors asked that he sees a clinical psychologist this morning. The prosecutor raised no further objection, so the case was adjourned to February 18 for trial to continue.
Obviously, this seems to be infuriating the judge a lot. Do you think it sort of puts the famed broadcaster in a very tight corner in this case, a possible bench warrant in the future?
Well, at the last hearing, the judge and the prosecutor were not happy about the fact that the KKD was not in court. The reason they gave was that they hadn't duly been notified. But today, it's clear that even though the second letter stating that he sees as a clinical psychologist was not made available to the court before proceedings began, the judge understood that due to the circumstance, the case had to be adjourned. She wasn't, comparatively, she wasn't as upset as she was the other time. And I spoke to the prosecutor herself after proceedings today, and she seemed she had come to, she appreciated where lawyers for KKD were coming from, the reason they were not able to appear in court. And I'm talking about the state prosecutor on this call.
Very well. Thank you very much, Afre, for the update. Away from that, President of the Ghana Mathematics Society, Professor Sijope Anku, says Ghana is yet to fully exploit mathematics for national development. Speaking on the AM show, Professor Anku says the inability of some teachers to break down the subject for students to grasp is a factor for the dislike for the subject. Meanwhile, the Ghana Mathematics Society will, on February 14, engage students at its annual camp meeting to help them have a practical feel of a subject.
there are many principles and methods of mathematics that we can use to solve our problems. I've been hearing you talk about doing so all the time.
We can use maths to solve it?
Solve that problem. Easy.
We're looking for crude oil. We're looking for money.
Mathematics can solve that problem. You see, I'm going to give you a few examples of things. You know, before I go there, let me tell you something. You see, we are having the National Mathematics Day, which is on Valentine's Day, and we ask people to show love to mathematics. Why are we saying that? Because when you begin to understand the mathematics, then you begin to see how the principle can be used to solve what problems you are facing daily. And then we have our Congress, which is themed Outdoor Mathematics.
Outdoor mathematics.
Outdoor mathematics.
Okay.
Because we want people to see how the theory of mathematics you learn in the classroom can be translated to everyday life activities to solve problems. And on top of that, we are going to inaugurate executives of the National Association of Mathematics Students. They are the ones that help us propagate the story of mathematics in the, pre-tertiary institutions.
Okay.
So these are the major things we are going to do in Kumasi. Now, coming back to how principles of mathematics can help you solve daily problems.
Now, the Ghana Police Service failed to deliver a group of suspected pirates to court for trial because police vehicles had no fuel in them. According to the Interior Minister, the answer is not that straightforward. Mark Oyongo, reacting to media reports about the inability of the police to bring the suspected pirates to court, acknowledged that there have been problems providing fuel for police vehicles. He spoke with my colleague Atani Delali, who joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello.
What exactly did he say?
Okay, so we asked him whether it was true that the police didn't have enough fuel to, bring the pirates to court, and he said that is really not true. It's not true because they have over 30,000 gallons of fuel with them at the moment, and so that can't be true. And he also said that it's true that they used to owe GOIL, but they have issued a check. It's yet to hit the accounts of GOIL, but they don't owe them anymore, but they used to owe them. But as we speak, they've been paid.
GOIL has been paid and has restored filling the tanks of police vehicles. But was he able to explain why, in that particular instance, fuel was given as a problem for not taking these suspected pirates to court? So piracy is a national issue.
He said that the police is investigating the matter. Whoever the police personnel is who said that because of fuel they couldn't transport the pirates to court will answer, because as it stands, they have enough fuel, over 30,000 gallons of fuel. As he said, they have enough fuel to have transported the pirates to court. And so they don't know how or why the police personnel would say because of fuel they couldn't take them to court. And so they are still investigating the matter.
But this is not the first time it's come up.
Yes, in October 24th, last year, October 2014, the same thing happened. But he insists that they have enough fuel.
In fact, very recently too, it was in the news that a lot of the emergency services, like the Ghana National Fire Service, the ambulance service, including the police body itself, had no fuel. The Ghana National Fire Service had a difficult time trying to defend why they didn't have fuel. The Interior Minister had mentioned that it was a problem they were dealing with, like you said. But for it to come up again, for you following this beat, how do you view it?
I think that, it won't hurt for them to actually come out and tell us exactly what the situation is. We can sympathize with them, but for you to come and not tell us exactly what the situation is and keep covering up, one day it will blow in their face.
So generally, with the fuel problem, how is he saying they're dealing with it? Because we wouldn't want a repeat of the GOIL situation where you're owing GOIL and then GOIL will have to call off its terms with the police service.
He insists that fuel is no issue. I mean, as it stands, they have enough fuel. So there could be another, it must be some other issue, some other reason that made it impossible for them to get to court yesterday, present the pirates to court yesterday. There's no way it has to be, there's no way they will attribute it to lack of fuel because they have enough. As he said, they have over 30,000 gallons of fuel. I doubt it, but I mean, Kemini, you and I can't prove it.
Well, thank you very much for that. Etonam Say spoke with Mark Wuyungo, who is the Interior Minister. But away from that, Basic Needs, an organization concerned with the rights of mental persons in the country, is urging government to show more concern to the need of mental persons in Ghana. According to project manager Eunice Tete, the current situation could be avoided if government concentrates more on decentralizing health facilities at the local level.
When it comes to mental health, we're not getting that support, that much support. I believe when government should come in and give the necessary support, or where we can have mental health incorporated into the primary health service care, it will solve a whole lot of, problems. We were hoping, having the mental health board come on board, we would, have solved some of these problems. But as of now, even the mental health fund is not yet established, and the fund is what will, help them in their work. And so, but I also think government, has been a bit, backlayed when it comes to mental health, and it's time for them to, come on board fully and support mental health. I believe one also reason this is happening at the psychiatric hospital is because, we do not have established community psychiatric units at every level. And so it's like everybody wants to come to the psychiatric hospital, but if you're able to decentralize mental health where we have community psychiatric units, or we have psychiatric units at every hospital, every district, every community, I believe the load on the psychiatric hospitals would come down, and we wouldn't have, this issue.
You're watching news today. There's more to come. Don't go away. Thanks for staying on. Now, residents of Santa Maria and Accra have bemoaned the bad nature of the major road linking the community to other parts of town. Speaking with Joy News' Latif Idrisu, some residents described the bridge in the community as a death trap.
Prempeh Street at Jalav here is a typical case of what I call mismanagement, if you like. I mean, this bridge here on Prempeh Street has been in existence for decades and has seen no rehabilitation whatsoever. Now, the situation here, as you can see, is like a trap to motorists and pedestrians, as erosion, as you can see, has eaten part of the bridge here on the Prempeh Street. Now, I have with me here the Honorable Member of Parliament for this community, who is going to tell us exactly how the situation here is being tackled. Now, what are your initial reactions, to this sad scene that we have here?
It's really very sad, and it's getting worse to worse. I mean, it started last 2 years, and I've been complaining a lot to the urban roads. Anytime I go to urban roads, I just call them, and there's no response. That is why today we want the whole Ghanaians to see actually what is happening. That a stitch in time saves 9. If they don't take care of this, there are casualties. We don't want people to die before they take action on it. It's very, very bad. You see, our method of culture is worrying us in this country. Our method of culture is worrying us in this country. And I want the whole Ghana, including His Excellency the President, to see what is happening in the community. If we don't take care, the whole erosion is going to eat the whole road, and we wouldn't have any access road here. And school children are passing here, residents are here, and they're really suffering. It's getting to rainy season. Exactly. They want us to have casualties before they amend this road for us. No. Exactly the point. This is what we have to do. That's a stitch in time saves 9. If you're not able to do this road before the rainy season, it will be very serious, and this road is going to, there'll be casualties on this.
Let's take a closer look at the death trap or bridge at Santa Maria. Latif Idrisu has been engaging the MCE for Gas Central, Aristo Ayi, on this dilapidated bridge.
this whole municipality. So it's not peculiar to only Prempeh Street area in Santa Maria. In fact, the worst affected electoral area is Kwashibu. But last year, we experienced serious flooding issues all over the place. And what we did was, myself and the assembly members went round to identify the serious areas, the areas of grave concern. And then we brought in NADMO hydrological services and the members of the Ministry of Works and Housing and urban rules to have a comprehensive look at what we can do to really salvage the situation, because last year was a very bad year in terms of flooding. Prior to that, in 2007, there was a serious flooding along the same corridor. And if we don't take time, we will go back to those days. So we try to do something to avert that. And the study preliminary reports that we have indicated that a lot of people have settled in wetlands, actually, because of a period of, in the 90s, getting between 1997 to 2004, there wasn't much rain. So the place dried up, and people filled wetlands and sold them. So what's happening is that we have about 3 streams culminating in that particular area. So now when it rains and the streams overflow, there's no wetlands for them to settle, for the water to gradually flow out. So it finds the water finds itself into various homes and various properties. And that is where we have problems and flooding and the casualties. Well, comprehensively, we are working in the long term to look at what, and that means some houses must go. But you see, we are not going to do take ad hoc measures, demolishing people's houses only for the water to come and cause the flooding again. So what we are doing is that at the moment, we have had the dredging machine just left here temporarily for Ghana West because they have some issues. They want to use the machine for a week. But I personally went to NADMO and they've given us their dredging machine. So we are dredging the streams alongside the place to free access for the water to flow. We are also embarking on a lot of desilting programs along the same corridor, just to give the water access in case there is a heavy downpour. But you see, human activities are not helping. You see, those same affected people either allow or they themselves put garbage into the water, choking the drains, and then definitely there will be overflow. We have had town hall meetings in all the 9 electoral areas last year. We have spoken to them, we have advised them, we have held seminars for them, just to tell them that whatever they do will come back to affect them.
Now, the fire disaster at the Central Medical Stores last month has left a lot for Ghanaian health providers to think about. The Ministry of Health says the regional stores have a lot of drugs in stock to last for about 3 more months. But yesterday, we heard of an acute shortage of oxygen at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital. We have some updates from the northern region where the doctors at the Tamale Regional Hospital say they are yet to feel the pangs of the disaster. Beatrice Edu visited Kolebu Teaching Hospital and joins me with her findings now. Welcome to the program, Beatrice.
Thank you.
Where have you been?
Indeed, I've been to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. I spoke to the public relations officer, that's Mustafa Salifu. He tells me that the Kolebu Teaching Hospital actually operates almost independently of the Central Medical Stores, and so he wouldn't say that they have been gravely affected in this. He says that they have not been affected in this. And just like you said of the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital, and they are losing 2 of their oxygen plants, I sought to find out whether they have also been affected in this, and Kolebu, our sources actually told me that they have not been affected because they do not store their oxygen plants at the Central Medical Stores. At the moment, they have 8 oxygen plants. 4 of them are very old and they were decommissioned in 2010. 4 of them are new. And so what happened was, after Konfanoche was affected, they called into Kolebu 3 weeks ago, and they gave them 2 of their decommissioned plants. And so Kolebu has not been affected when it comes to the oxygen plant. I went on to go to the surgical pharmacy, and what I found from an official there, he told me that as of now, they have not received any reports suggesting that they have been affected in terms of their departments in the hospital have been affected when it comes to drugs and other essentials. And so generally, based on what Mustafa told me and based on what I got from the surgical pharmacy, it looks like Kolebu has not been immediately affected by this fire.
Affected.
Yes.
But you've been following this beat. Again, I'm going to borrow your words. Generally, what do you think it looks like for the pharmacies of these government hospitals when it comes to the drugs?
I think it must be difficult for them knowing that they get their stocks from this central medical store, and so if they've had their supplies bent, then that must be a difficult challenge for them to handle. But again, we've been speaking to the PRO of the Health Ministry, Tony Goodman, who tells us that indeed they assured people that these stocks they have would last for about 3 months, and so immediately they don't think that it should have that grave effect on hospitals across the country.
I see. Thank you very much for the report. Beatrice Edu visited the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and shared with us her findings as far as medicines and oxygen machines are concerned. Now, the Accra Psychiatric Hospital also seems to be hit by the same disaster. Head of the unit, Dr. Kwesi Osei, says the hospital has no drugs to sedate patients. We'll get you more of that in subsequent broadcasts. Next year on the program, sports.
Hi, good afternoon. You're still here on News Today. Let's talk sports now with me, Benedict Owusu. In our very first story, 3 members of the Black Stars have been named in All-Star 11 selected by CAF's Technical Study Group that's following the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations, which ended last week. Now, tournament best player Christian Achu leads the Ghanaian pack alongside the competition's top scorer Andrea Ayew and defender Harrison Afful. Now, the All-Star team is dominated by members of the Ivorian national team who won the tournament after edging Ghana in a 9-8 penalty shootout victory. Now, Ghana had 3 nominees with 2 from DR Congo goalkeepers, Sylvion Bohua, who is from Cote d'Ivoire, Robert Kidiaba is from DR Congo. Now, the defenders, Sir Orio from Ivory Coast, Harrison Afful is from Ghana, Abib Koloture is from Ivory Coast. Midfielders, we have Andre Ayew from Ghana, Yaya Toure is from Ivory Coast, and Max Alain Gradel is also from Ivory Coast. There is Yannick Bolasi from DR Congo, Gavinho is from the Ivory Coast, and the forward we have Christian Achu, who won the MVP of the tournament, and Wilfred Bonney of Ivory Coast. So we still do some more stories here, and Ghana have moved to 25th position in the latest edition of the FIFA Coca-Cola World Rankings, which was released this afternoon. Now, the Black Stars, who finished second at the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations, moved up 12 places to break into the top top 30. Now, Ghana now have 864 points from their previous 714 points. Now, the Black Stars are now third on the continental table and behind champions Ivory Coast, who are in second. Algeria are still in the lead. The top 10 remains unchanged, with Germany in the lead, followed by Argentina and Colombia. Now, Africa's sides have made progress in the latest rankings with 12 teams in the top 50. Now, UEFA, that's Europe, they have 28, a fall of 2. In North America, we have 6. CONCACAF, we have 3. AFC, we have 1. And there is no representative from OFC. So we're still with national team issues, and 25 players have been called up into the senior women's national team, that's the Black Queens, to begin preparations for the 2015 All-Africa Games and the 2016 Olympic Games qualifiers. Now, the selected players are to report to the national camp in Pram Pram on Monday, the 16th February 2015 at 4 p.m. prompt. So just by way of some of the players that have been called up into the team, Fafali Duhamesu of Police Service, Alex Eva Danso of Police, Faiza Ibrahim of Police, Dinah Ankoma of Police, Patricia Mante is from Immigration, Rosemary Ampem from Immigration, Agnes Quay is from Immigration, and we have Portia Boache from Fabulous Ladies. There is Agnes, Victoria Eje, Janet Eje, all from Fabulous Ladies, and Samira, Suleimana, Linda Ashon, Juliet Bewa. They are all from Hazakis Ladies, and Gladys Amphobia from Lady Strikers. There is Mary Eseful from Intellectuals, and Faustina Ampa from Blessed Ladies, and Elizabeth Ado, who plays football in Costa Rica. Now to one of the players that did so well at the Nations Cup, that's Ifeyi Akwa. He can't wait to pull on the colours of Sampdoria as he seeks to fulfill a childhood dream of playing in the UEFA Champions League. Now the 23-year-old completed a loan move to Sampdoria from fellow Serie A side that's Parma on transfer deadline day, with Sampdoria getting the option to buy him on a permanent deal at the end of the season. Akwa, who played so well for Ghana at the just ended AFCON tournament, is happy with the move.
It's a good opportunity, to move to that club. And then I would say right now they are third of the Italian Serie A. They are in third position. And then it's good for me. And so right now when I'm going to work hard, and then, I'll get more playing time for me to get, a new club for next season. I did a good job, and then I play very well. And then I have a good performance in this tournament. And then I think it's hard working, so I think I'm going to continue to work hard, and then maybe the next 2 years we're going to win the cup.
$25,000, that's a lot of money. What do you make of that?
Oh, I'm going to keep this money. Oh, rich one. I'm going to keep this money, for my family, my mother and then my sisters and my brothers, and then maybe they will keep it, and then they will use the money to do something.
So that was Black Stars midfielder Ifeyi Akwa, who has now joined the Serie A side Sampdoria. Now, Asamoah Gyan received the rapturous reception on his return to Accra Academy, where he pledged to finance the construction of an artificial football pitch to replace the grassless surface. Now, the Black Stars captain, who last visited his alma mater secondary school in 2006, arrived in the company of his manager Samuel Inimado, who incidentally is also an old student of Accra Academy. Now, Gyan's convoy was mobbed by students who had abandoned classes to greet their idol.
Captain of the Black Stars of Ghana, Asamoah Gyan, paid a visit yesterday to his secondary school. When Gyan arrived at the campus of Accra Academy, all students and staff of the school gave him a very good reception. In his speech, he stated clearly he will construct an astroturf for the school to enable enhance more talent of his caliber.
Today I'm very, very happy to be here. I feel like I'm back home. The reception here has been so great, and I really appreciate what you've done for me. I was here since 2006. I think most of you were not here. And I'm so happy to be in the Accra family. Whether you like it or not, Accra.
Okay, so that was School Prefect Asamoah Gyan, addressing some students at the Accra Academy School. Well, that's where he attended SS, and he has promised to, get them an artificial turf there. Very good one from the captain of the Black Stars. And on that note, we end sports here on News Today. Make sure you stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the program. My name is Benedict Owusu. Have a great afternoon.
Our top stories here on News Today. Executive Director for the Ghana Coalition of Anti-Corruption Campaign says it expects government to fully disclose the source of funding for the Ghana AFCON campaign. Famed broadcaster Kwesi Darkwa presents medical reports in court today, insisting he needs psychological treatment. Sierra Leone records only 3 new confirmed Ebola cases since Tuesday. That's it for the hour. Thank you very much for your company. My name is Kimini Nyamani Amana. Find more news on myjoyonline.com. Have a good afternoon.